G'day, g'day. Welcome to Grimheim. I'm Grim, and this is Tarisland. Grab a snack and sit down as we take a look at one of Tarisland's 9 classes, the Phantom Necro. We'll be checking out the character customization options, initial abilities, and what a typical early rotation looks like. Within the Beyond, the eternal cycle of life and death never ceases. The mournful chants of restless souls bring mysterious power to a unique group of mortals, known as the Phantom Necro. Phantom Necro has mastered a power of souls, navigating the realms of life and death. With a touch, they revive dwindling lives and spare no sinful souls from their rebuke. Phantom Necros hold the keys to the secret of souls and unveil the prophecies of fate for every being. Now, within Tarisland, there are 3 main archetypes that each of the 9 different classes fit into, these being the tanks, the healers, and the damage dealers. The Phantom Necro fulfilling 2 of these roles, being damage dealer, and later on when you unlock your second specialization at around level 12, a healer. So jumping straight in with the character customization, you'll notice that the Phantom Necro is currently gender locked. Unlike the mage and the paladin, which we can see here, we can shift between male and female. Now, while this is the case, it has been mentioned by the devs that they do plan on making genders available for all classes as time goes on. But for now, if you want to play as a male Phantom Necro, well, you're just going to have to wait. It's something that quickly becomes apparent when diving into the character customization for the Phantom Necro, is that they really have this shaman witch doctor aesthetic going for it, which I think looks really, really cool. And it's a little bit of a different take, considering that it could have easily been designed to look more like the stereotypical Necromancer edgelord. But just going to quickly flick through a couple of these character customization options just so you can have a quick look. Here we have different hairstyles available. As you can see, it really has that tribal shaman witch doctor kind of aesthetic to it. The hair colours. Now, something that I do think is really cool about this game is the these little effects that they do put in the eyes. Now, you don't have to have this enabled. You can click this one here and disable the feature. But yeah, it's just a nice little touch that they have added to all of the races. Shadows. Might have just changed the skin tone just so we can see the eyeshadow taking effect on there. Go back to the standard. There we go, still kind of hard to see. You get the idea. Blush. And the tattoos. Very characteristic of the Phantom Necro. Now, even in the tattoo design, you can really see the tribal witch doctor kind of elements in place. They look really, really cool. A little bit different to the other classes. A lot of the other classes have kind of a glowing effect. This one sort of goes back to the sort of like a wall paint kind of design, which, yeah, I think looks really amazing. So here we are in game with our Phantom Necro Grimadora. Now, initially when you start as a Phantom Necro, you'll only have access to the Soul Snatch specialization. This is your specialization for when you want to focus on dealing damage. The in-game description reading: the Phantom Necros are not only well versed in the light of life, but also the darkness of death. When justice is infringed upon and kindness is desecrated, the Phantom Necros with the Soul Snatch specialization will wield the hand of justice and mercilessly punish the crime. Now, at around level 12, which should take you around 1 to 2 hours to reach, you'll unlock access to your second specialization, this being the soul healing. We'll have a little look at this later, but essentially this is the spec you want if you want to perform the healer role, particularly in raids or dungeons. Now, when you begin with this class, the skills that you'll initially have access to all belonging to Soul Snatch specialization. Let's check them out. So the first one you have here is Soul Arrow. So cast a Soul Arrow on the target, dealing magic damage equal to 55% of your attack, plus 84. Nice and simple, no cooldown, just a quick, easy, spammable attack. We'll go ahead and use it on this target dummy here. There you go. So your second ability here, this one will will link up with your class mechanic, which we'll touch on as soon as we go over all these skills. We'll have a look at the class mechanic and how these link in together. But soul trap, so you're going to suck the soul out of the target, attacking the target 3 times within 2 seconds. Each time dealing magic damage equal to 46% of your attack plus 68, while receiving half the amount of healing and granting free soul energy. This skill can be recharged up to 2 times. This skill can also be cast while moving, but it's interrupted if you jump. So we'll go ahead and cast it on the dummy. There we go there. So you can see it's a channel ability. We can still move around while we're casting it. And you notice our little counter down here goes up. So this is our soul energy. We'll touch on this in a little bit. But you can see that going up now. And essentially as it goes up, it will change the way that different abilities interact with each other. We're just going to go ahead and just knock that one down a bit. Take our soul energy back down to 0. Beautiful. So what you're seeing here, this is our free. So normally it is Bone Spirit, which consumes 1 soul energy to cast. When you cast it, it'll deal magic damage equal to 150% of your attack, plus 228. When your soul energy is equal to or higher than 5, which it just was, the skill will then be changed to Summoning a Wraith. You'll see this little tooltip, it will change to say Spectral instead of Bone Spirit. Now what your Wraith will do, it will essentially stand there and it'll continuously attack your target by casting Soul Trap. And the Wraith will stand around for about 15 seconds before it disappears. Now during this 15 seconds you can use Bone Spirit again. So any excess charges that you have in your soul energy, you'll essentially just blast them down with Bone Spirit because it does do quite a bit of damage. Now your number 4. So with all classes within this game, your 4th ability is basically your big damage move. So for the Phantom Necro, your number 4 ability is Shadow Blade. So Death Reaper swings at the target, dealing magic damage equal to 290% of your attack, plus 437. And this will also generate 5 soul energies, which is quite useful, especially if you want to get to your Spectre out, because that takes 5 soul energy to cast. You can start up, run in, use your Shadow Blade, and straight away get a Spectre up instead of having to charge up those 5 charges. Okay, so your next ability on your number 5, as with all classes, this is going to be your area of effect. So for the Phantom Necro, it is Soul Elegy, which consumes 1 soul energy to summon 4 undead souls in a designated area, dealing magic damage equal to 10% of your attack, plus 40 per second to enemies within range for 4 seconds. The more enemies there are, the higher the damage you will deal. So we'll just get some soul energy so we can cast that one. So on its own, this ability isn't going to do too much damage. You really wouldn't use it against, say if you're just fighting one boss or a one-on-one fight, maybe in PvP or something like that. You probably wouldn't be using this ability. It doesn't do enough single target damage, but the more enemies you can catch within this radius, it will do more. So if you can get it on quite a group of opponents, drop that one down. But against a single opponent, it costs 1 soul to cast, the same as what it would to use Bone Spirit. Bone Spirit does massively more damage compared to Soul Elegy on single targets. So single targets go with Bone Spirit, multiple enemies go with Soul Elegy. Now your 6th ability that you have, so these are generally buffs for essentially all classes within the game. And for the Phantom Necro, you have access to Soul Burst. So your attack is increased by 76 for 8 seconds, and up to 5 soul energy is consumed to attain Soul Arrow Plus or Enhanced Soul Arrow of the same amount. So essentially, if we have, you can see we have 2 soul energy here. If we were to go and cast Soul Burst, we would generate 2 Soul Arrow Plus. Ideally, you want to get this up to 5 before you cast it, otherwise you're sort of wasting a cooldown. It does have quite a large cooldown on it, 60 seconds. So you can see here we have 5 charges. Go ahead and use Soul Burst. And now you can see that we have Soul Arrow Plus, and we have these 5 orbs floating around us. So now every time that we cast Soul Arrow, it's essentially going to do 4 damage per shot. Now with no cooldown on Soul Arrow, you can actually rack up quite a bit of damage. So we'll go ahead and use it here. Boom. 2, 3, 5. Massive amounts of damage. It's really a big burst ability. But as you can see, it goes on a 60-second cooldown. So once you use it, you sort of want to go back to your normal rotation. Maybe get out your Spectro. Gather some more energy. And then cast your Bone Spirits. And continue on with your rotation. Essentially until Soul Burst comes off cooldown again. So the exclusive class mechanic of the Soul Snatch Phantom Necro is Soul Energy and the Soul Jar. By casting some skills, mainly Soul Trap and Shadow Blade, you'll generate Soul Energy, which will be stored in the Soul Jar, which is this here. Soul Energy you can see down the bottom here. This is your number of charges. At the moment we only have 1 charge, and it will store in the Soul Jar up to a maximum of 9 charges. So in battle, you'll consume the Soul Energy primarily to cast your Spectre or Bone Spirit, or to enhance your Soul Arrows for your Soul Burst ability. Now the key to playing the Phantom Necro is learning how to appropriately manage your generation of Soul Energy and also your consumption of Soul Energy. By balancing the two, you pretty well can ensure that you've got consistent high damage. So alongside these abilities, the Phantom Necros also have a variety of ultimate skills. Just get into the menu here. Now your ultimate skills are primarily utility skills, often used to reposition, or slow down, or knock back foes. So your first one that you'll get here is Psionic Phantom. Flash 10 meters in a designated direction and leave a Phantom in place. Cast the skill again after 4 seconds to instantly return to the position of the Phantom. Skill has a max range of 24 meters. Shadow Speed. Increase your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. Styx Pulse. Control the ghost to strike around to knock back enemies within 4 meters. Distance 8 meters. Sorry, I just had to read that again. Any enemy within 4 meters, you'll knock them back 8. And also inflict 50% of deceleration on them for 5 seconds. So for 5 seconds, they're only going to be able to move at half the normal speed. Hellblaze. Command Underworld Fire to burn the target, causing it to decelerate by 70% for 8 seconds. So this one will slow them down quite a bit more and for a little bit longer, but you don't get that initial knockback. So you sort of need to choose what one is going to be more useful to you, and probably more depends on the situation. Down here, a couple more skills. Break Free. Instantly remove all root and control effects on you. Certain boss skill effects cannot be removed. Evil Energy. Just plain and simple, interrupt this target spellcasting. Soulbind. Make the target root for 6 seconds. So what this means is they just cannot move. They can't move for 6 seconds unless they cast one of their utilities to get out of it. Borrowed Time. For the next 6 seconds, convert a percentage of damage taken into healing, which heals you for up to 20% of your max HP. You still take the excess damage. So there you have it. That's the Soul Snatch Phantom Necro. Very bursty, able to do quite a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Not the hardest thing to play. We'll go through, we'll show a quick rotation now just to sort of give an idea of what it could look like and the amount of damage that you can do quite quickly. So we'll start off here, Shadow Blade. Summon our Spectre. We're going to use our Soul Trap. Get it up again, we're going to use Soul Burst. Now we can blast away. Soul Trap's up, let's get that back going. Now we can get our Phantom back. You notice the Phantom despawned after 15 seconds, which you can see down here with this little bar that's just decreasing here. And this is essentially all you're going to be doing. You're just managing your uptime between your Bone Spirit and managing your Soul Bursts off cooldown. So here we are again. Shadow Blade, Spectre. We get some more souls. Bone Spirit, Bone Spirit. Get our souls back. Then we use some arrows. Spectre is about to wear off. We have enough energy. Let's get it back up straight away. Let's focus on getting our souls back. Bone Spirit, Bone Spirit. Get our souls back. Soul Burst is off cooldown. Get our souls. And burst, burst, burst. And that's the general idea of playing the Phantom Necro. Very bursty, a couple of cooldowns you just need to watch, but primarily all you're doing is just keeping an eye on your souls and your Spectre ability, just making sure that every time your Spectre is up for 15 seconds, you have enough souls to get it going again. And while that's going, you also want to make sure that you have enough souls for when your soul burst comes off cooldown. Yeah. That's it for the Phantom Necro Soul Snatch. So next up we have the Soul Healing Specialization. Now the in-game text for this one reads, "Every soul bonded by the Covenant holds great significance to the Phantom Necros. As experts in soothing souls, Phantom Necros with the Soul Healing Specialization can connect with nature and wield the power of the Datura flower to heal fragile spirits, instilling the promise of life." Now, this is the specialization you want to use if you primarily want to play as a healer. So this is going to be when participating in raids or dungeons. If that's what interests you, then this is sort of what you want to be. Now there's a couple of healers in game, being the Bard, the Priest, and the Phantom Necro. The Bard is sort of more orientated towards providing buffs for your allies and area of effect healing, whereas the Priest is really strong area of effect healing. But the Phantom Necro, where it really outshines the other two, is it has really strong single target heals. So going in now, there's going to be a couple of skills here that we probably won't quite be able to demonstrate to their fullest effect, just because it's only us here, we're not in a party or anything like that. So there's a couple there that we probably won't be able to demonstrate, but we can go over what they do. So the first ability you have here is Soul Herb. Unleash the Soul Herb to recover the target's HP by 77% of your attack, plus 116. Deal half the healing effect as damage when cast on enemies. For every 1.8 seconds that the skill is not cast in battle, the HP recovery effect of the skill is increased by 67%, stacking up to 3 times. So what this means is you don't want to sit there and basically just keep mashing it. It doesn't have a cooldown, but it really isn't the most effective way to be using this skill. What you want to do is sit back, wait for your teammate to take some damage. Really, it will be ideally the tank. And you notice here that we have 3 stacks of Soul Giving. So when you get 3 stacks, you can unleash it on an ally. See if we can unleash it on ourselves. No, we can't. But when you have 3 stacks, it will heal for considerably more. So instead of sitting there and just mashing it on your tank, instead you want to sit back, let them take a little bit of damage, and then hit them with one big Soul Herb. What it's also going to do is it will provide you with small amounts of vitality, which will build up for your class mechanic, which is the Datura flower. So your second ability here is Soul Draw. Manipulate souls to deal damage equal to 116% of your attack, plus 176 to enemies near your selected ally, and recover the ally's HP by 3 times the damage dealt. You will also gain free vitality. So again, this is a really strong heal and also a bit of a damaging ability for casting on your tank, or yeah, essentially it's going to be your tank. You really wouldn't be playing the Soul Healing Specialization just for single player PvE. You're just really not going to do enough damage. You won't die by any means. Your survivability will be through the roof. But yeah, so what you want to do is your tank will be in there attacking. You want to cast Soul Draw. There it is. And what it will do is damage all of the enemies around the tank, take away their health, and essentially provide it to them, giving you some vitality points as well. And you can see that when we cast that, we did build up a little bit of this is essentially what our vitality is. It's building up towards a Datura flower, and we can hold a total of 4 of them. So we'll cast it again just so we can build that vitality up. See, one more cast and we should be able to get it. Just wait for it to come off cooldown. There we go. Oh, we still don't have it. So what you need is there's 10 vitality per Datura flower. Because this only gives 3 vitality per cast, we need to cast it 4 times to get a Datura. There we are there. So you can see now we have a Datura flower. Okay, so our third ability is Tainted Soul. Release Corrupted Soul to recover HP for an ally by 360% of your attack, plus 541. Now, as the soul is corrupted, the ally will slowly lose 50% of the healing points. So 50% of the healing that you did, they will slowly lose that. However, you do gain 10 vitality. This is kind of, it's almost like an oh no kind of heal. Someone's taken a little too much damage than what they should. You fire it off, really get a heavy heal into them, and before that gradual decay of health starts kicking in, you can heal them up with your soul herb or your soul draw. But the big ticket to this is it provides you with 10 vitality, which will instantly give you a Datura flower. So cast that again. You see, we just gained another Datura. So these Datura flowers, how are you using them? Well, you use them with your 4th ability, which is Soul Link. So what Soul Link does is link your allies to yourself, with each ally sharing 4% of the target's damage taken and healing received. Increase the target's physical defense by 802. Each Datura flower consumed allows the linking of one more ally. So what you want to do is build up as many Datura flowers as you can. Say you're in a dungeon, you've got a party of 5, you want to be able to link everyone together. And the more people you can link up together, the less damage everyone's going to be taking, but the more healing you're going to be outputting. So you would cast this on your tank. So essentially it's only casted on me because I'm the only person in this party. But if I had friends, I guess, if I had friends, it would link us all together, and whoever was taking the brunt of the damage, it would share it. Sorry, it would share it between us, so we'd all be taking a little bit, but the main damages will be taking a lot less. And then as I start to heal them, it will essentially just heal all of us. Okay, so your number 5 is Burning Soul. Burn souls to recover an ally's HP by 288% of your attack, plus 433. Additionally, recover HP for them by 24% of your attack, plus 36 for 6 seconds, and increase their max HP by 10%. What this one's going to be really good for is, say if you need to use Tainted Soul, so cast that one. Because it will gradually decrease health, what you can do is cast Burning Soul, as this one will gradually increase their health as well. It provides healing over time. So it's also a really big heal, not quite as big as Tainted Soul, but the benefit to this one is you get that gradual healing over time. Now your 6th ability that you get is Soul Dance. Perform a ritual dance, healing the teammates and summon units within 24 meters for 5.5 seconds by recovering 6 times. Each time, recover HP by 237% of your attack, plus 356. The skill is interrupted if you jump or if you move. So it is quite a big area. Essentially, if you're with your party or with your raid group, and you get an opportunity where everyone's kind of grouped up together, you can fire off Soul Dance. Hit the channel there. You can sort of see the area there. It's quite large. And it will just continuously provide healing. Now, if you have them linked together with Soul Link, you'll heal for quite a considerable bit more. Caveat to this is it has a 2-minute cooldown. It's quite a large cooldown. You really don't want to be using this. Really, you will use this if you haven't had the opportunity to build up Datura flowers and get everyone linked together. Because if you have everyone linked together, you can just heal them with Soul Herb, Soul Draw, and even Burning Soul. So really it makes Soul Dance a little bit redundant. But yeah, what it is basically, if you can't get Soul Link up, fire off Soul Dance and you save the day. Now, as you're firing off, we'll just go over here into the class mechanic. There we go. So as you're firing off your Soul Link, you are also gaining Inscribed Stone energy. So what this is this ability over here. So as it builds up, you're busy going away, building up vitality, firing off your Soul Draw, firing off Tainted Souls, getting your Datura flowers, you fire up your Soul Links, build up your Inscribed energy, and all of a sudden you can fire your Inscribed Stone skill. So what this will do will make your Soul Herb area of effect. So anyone standing near who you're casting this on, it will basically explode on them and heal your allies and damage your enemies around that target, so it makes it quite a bit stronger. So if you can get your Inscribed Stone skill off, what you want to do is all of a sudden switch to spamming your Soul Herb, and you'll heal a lot more, and you'll also do a little bit of damage as well. Okay, we'll stop casting on ourselves. There we go, beautiful. Now we'll open up and we'll look into the ultimate skills for the soul healing Phantom Necro. Just going into the ultimate skills, switching through here, much the same of the Soul Snatch, Phantom Necro, Psionic Phantom, flash 10 meters in designated direction and leave the Phantom in place. Cast skill again after 4 seconds to instantly return to the position of the Phantom. Skill has a max range of 24 meters. Shadow speed, stimulate your soul's potential and boost you and your teammates' movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. So a little bit different here. Instead of just boosting your own speed, you're also boosting your teammates. Styx Pulse, control the ghost to strike around to knock back enemies within 4 meters, a distance of 8 meters. So again, as before, anyone within 4 meters, you're knocking back 8 and also inflicting 50% deceleration on them, so slowing them down to half their movement speed for 5 seconds. Ghost, resurrect a chosen ally by infusing a ghost into their body. The resurrected ally has 50% HP. It's quite a long cooldown, and you're really probably mucking up quite a bit if you need to be casting this quite repeatedly, and you're having to wait for the cooldown. But if anything goes wrong, you've got this ultimate here, resurrect. Yeah, you can cast it in battle, and yeah, just pop your ally back up. Break free. Instantly remove all root and control effects on you. Certain boss skills cannot be removed. Clean soul. Disperse 1 random control effect and all the move restraint effects and boss debuffs for an ally. Disperse the selected target first if the current target has no, and then it cuts off. Oh, there we go. Where'd it go? If the target has no effects to be dispersed, it will disperse to the nearest ally within the casting range. If there is still no qualified target, the skill cooldown will be reset. Yes, really, really good ability here. Really strong skill. Any debuffs, any control effects that are really don't have the potential to wipe your raid or wipe your dungeon group. But if you can get this off, you can essentially save your group. Next one you have is Soulbind. As before, make the target root for 6 seconds. You're just holding it in place for 6 seconds. And Borrowed Time. The next 6 seconds, convert a percentage of damage taken into healing, which heals you for up to 20% of your max HP, and the excess you still take as damage. So you're healing by 20%, and any extra you are taking as damage still. So just a bit of a damage mitigation. And that about wraps it up for the Phantom Necro. Soul Healing and the Soul Snatch specialization. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.